Welcome back, everybody. $18. Great. Sean's taking my money. I do not know what he do with it. Oh, that's nifty. Magic pull by 50, 8% more damage. Or mystery box. Till purified, any hit taken is fatal. Defeat 10 enemies to purify this relic and gain 50. Resolve. Fast. I'm gonna be extra cautious now. That's one. And I'm dead. Was not worth it at all. Alright, let's find out what exploding gastric syndrome is. Enemies drop an explosive surprise. Awesome. Ducky, please come and share some Torii tea with me. Morning tea is one of the great traditions ever made. You should never skip it. I like mine with lots of sugar and lots of mint. Like a lot. It's probably more sugar than tea. Yuck. Sounds awful. Recently, the YouTube algorithm started suggesting to me that I... Oh, ow, that hurt. Recently, the YouTube algorithm has suggested that more historical stuff for me to watch, which is fine and dandy. But in saying that, I've come to the conclusion that YouTube really, or at least the algorithm really likes to promote you know, like what ifs, you know, like what if, you know, Germany had won World War I, or what if, you know, this, that, the other stuff. It's like, okay, you know, obviously right off the bat you would have, you know, probably had some, you know, repercussions. You know, the map would have been redrawn in Germany's favor, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they probably get to keep the Kaiser instead of him, you know, abdicating, you know. And then, of course, you know, France would probably have some France and UK would probably be, you know, not in as strong a position as they were previously. You know, that stuff's kind of boring to talk about, though. Let's talk about, like ridiculous levels of, like, oh yeah, this, and yes would happen. And then afterwards, you know, you would see blah, 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 this, and blah, 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 that. And it's just like, it just drives me nuts to listen to, because, like, you literally don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, like, it's like fan fiction in a way, you know, even though it's supposed to be historical, it's like fan fiction. It's like, you know, I get it, you know, anything can happen, you know, nations rise and fall in power and blah 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 this and blah 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 that, but like here's a fictional example, okay? Say a dude gets woken up by some wild animal outside of his house or something, okay? and because of that, he's irritated. And then that irritation causes him to get punched in the face or something, okay? So, you know, he goes and, you know, later on in the evening and drinks it off, okay? Great. And then because he's drunk, you know, maybe he, you know, he goes home, makes love to his wife or whatever, even though I don't think she would go for that. But, you know, we're just playing pretend now. We're just, you know, we're playing history buff 101, you know. And they, you know, she gets pregnant, has a kid, okay? And then that kid, you know, grows up, you know, and, you know, he helps to create a more accurate, I don't know, rifle, okay? And that rifle, you know, kills the commander, and that commander causes, the death of that commander causes morale to deplete. And then because of the morale being depleted, you know, the army loses a battle that they should have won. And then, you know what I mean? Great. I don't think this room's gonna be worth it. And like, okay, so if the bird hadn't woken that guy up, you know, World War II would have ended differently. You know? No, probably not. It probably doesn't really have much of a difference, but it does play into that, and there's too many what I'm trying to say is there's too many unknown variables going into this to say, well, you know, they would like to do this, that's the goal, but, you know, things can change. Things you can't see are going to change. Like, you know, you might have a situation where you have a very strong political leader that causes a country to move in a particular direction, whether that's to the left or the right. And, you know, that leads to other stuff, and it either makes your nation stronger or weaker. You know, stuff that you can't foresee right now because, again, like, you're not omnipotent, you don't know everything, you know? But, you know, you look at this and you go, well, this is probably going to happen in the short term. You know, you could look at it and go, well, Russia invading Ukraine. That's probably going to make the nations in Eastern Europe unsettled. And they're going to want to not become the next piece of meat on the plate. So you're going to try to band together with allies or some sort of deterrent to make sure that you're not the next meal. Okay? Now, what exactly that means, I don't know. I mean, in this case, it meant joining NATO. Ducky, care for some lamb fiata? Fata? It's lamb and garlic and rice and tomatoes and everything delicious. It's one of my favorite dishes. Don't be bashful for asking for a second. Seriously, feel free. I've made too much because I keep forgetting how small I am. But that's my rant for the day. You know, just like, okay, you know, political commentators can't, you know, even get what's going to happen in the next 2 months, right? Let alone the way a country is going to fare in the next 20 years, you know? Or the, you know, and the one that really, I think the reason why I'm even irritated about this was because, you know, a lot of times people talk about the European Union and the possibility of them bettering or becoming a federated nation like the United States, where it's a bunch of individual countries within a more overly still purified. Defeat 15 enemies purified, gain ore, gold, ether bonus. Sweet. But I'm a one-hit KO machine, or one-hit dying at all times. That was unlucky. I gotta stop taking those. It's doing so well at the beginning, now I just stink. Ducky, those ruins are just a taste. If you want the good stuff, you'll have to give me the good stuff. By good stuff, I mean talking about Red Aether will help you live forever. And the good stuff for you, I mean stacking runes. Bonjour, mortal. I've discerned that this is the fancy way of saying hello in your world. Bonjour no is Italian, italicized way of saying hello. Let's go. I'm a blueberry. Actually, what are my stats here? Blue is beautiful. You are blue. Oh, sweet. I apply poison. But getting back to my earlier conversation, you know, they talked about, well, maybe one day the European Union is going to be a federated nation, where it's all controlled by, either like a senate or maybe even like a federated presidency of some sort. And a lot of people, I don't know if worried is the right thing to do. They're obviously you'd be losing your autonomy as an individual nation, but you'd still have input as part of the federation. But the one thing that sort of irritated me was they talk about how the European Union's dominated by currently Germany and France, the center of it, and a lot of the stuff sort of benefits them. But the Eastern European nations, they may not feel that they're being as well represented as, say, France and Germany. So, they're not going to want to be part of this federation, But then they talk about, well, there could be like a NATO-like Eastern European stuff. And then within like 2 minutes, he's talking about, well, yeah, Poland and Ukraine, they'd become one nation, and they may even absorb Romania. And I'm like, how are these things related? I mean, you just talked about how, they want to be independent from this, and at the same time, they're gonna start recreating the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. I don't think so. I mean, maybe Poland, Lithuania, since they have a history, but I mean, out and out taking over parts of Eastern Europe, and I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Oh, I got dual blades. Sweet. Back. Back. Oh shit. Some smart shit right there, I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I mean, you have to make that initial jump in order for that to even make sense. That's one of those. I think that has to do with the dash. Where you dash and leave like a fart cloud behind. And now I'm dead. Dead as a doornail. I like how there's synergy with these weapons. So like having multiple leather weapons or having multiple scholar weapons gives you synergy, which helps to increase your resolve, I think, or other stats. He's talking about the water. I'm wondering if it's poisonous or... And why can the living safe live in it if poisonous? Charon. I can just keep my feet on the ground will be good with this barbarian. It was definitely an interesting change they made to the class. Because the weapon acts similar to the sword does, you know, other than that jumping spin attack. But it's an overhead slash. And I get why they made this spin attack less powerful, because you can hit multiple times with it, but I don't know. I'm doing 1 to 2 hits when I do that. Do I want to change over to a spear? Interesting prospect, considering I get to keep all my stats. I just change weapons. Yeah, that was good 2 hits there. I understand that's why the trade-off exists. They don't want you to do that, you know, have that just be spin to win. Oh, I think that was a double critical. Which is a weird thing to say in a game like this, where you have a critical, which I guess does double damage, and then you have a double critical, which I guess does times 4 damage. I'm sure the enemies get access to the critical system as well after a while. I have all the journals now. So I haven't really run into an enemy I really hate yet. The little skeleton mages are pretty fair. The flying mages are about the same as they were in the last game. You know, the knight is definitely smaller than his original appearance in Rogue Legacy 1. About the same otherwise. Correct. I do miss my double jump though. I mean, I can live without it, but you know, nice to just have that extra little oomph in case, you know, you're about to make the platform, you just need that little extra jump. Nice. Also very generous hitboxes with that, I've noticed. Isn't that fun? I'm not sure that I've run into a bad class yet in this game. I mean, the mage is a little... I mean, I want to use the mage. It's not like I want to completely avoid using the mage. I want to use it, but not as strong as some of these, you know, other classes. Or they... I don't know. I think this will be the last run of the night. After this, I think it's time to call it an evening. Yes, I know you've got new one of the leather armor, blah blah blah. Made a totem from... I made Totem some kofta, but I guess he doesn't eat. So strange, the living safe eats it is fine. So strange because the living safe eats it just fine. Anyways, want some leftovers? Child, have you come to hear my stories? I used to be a bard, you know, teller of stories, both fables and truths. I was famous, known across the lands as he who tells the worst stories. And now I have been bad. I may have been bad, but I was famous. Ow. I wonder if those are going to get more difficult as I get into other areas. Like, you know, they take away half the lanterns or something. Or have no lanterns for that matter. You know, and just gotta use your ability. Rush. I remember someone talking about rogue games, or even, you know, games that aren't, that have a lot of a lot of challenge to them is when you have a room with multiple enemies, you want to try to find the guy who needs to die first and make them die, and then worry about the next guy who needs to die second, because they're easier to take out or whatever. Those spear maidens, if you're on your level, you need to get rid of them first. And then these mages, these little floating mages, always need to die. They just, I don't know. It's not that I wish they had less health, it's just that as a primarily mage class, you would think they would have less health. You know, sort of like how the knight class has a lot of defense, so you don't do as much damage. Well, you do this, I guess you use more health is what I should say. It's not actually, isn't so much, you know, defense as it is health. Oh, that's a big fuck you right here. Eyeballs always need to die. They shoot through shit. Money, more money. I want more money. I know what a Hyperion ring is from the first game. Gives me another chance at death. This one's a lot more generous, whereas the one in Rogue Legacy 1 would just give you enough health for another hit or so, I believe. You basically would just survive death and then get left with a little bit of extra health. This one gives you half your health back, which is pretty cool. I definitely want you to learn these mechanics, though. I didn't intend to actually go up there. I was just trying to get away from the damage. Nice. No, I didn't want to do that. Oh well. Gotcha. Hmm. Hmm. There are definitely some enemy types I haven't run into yet. One of them being the zombie. I'm not running into any zombies yet. I already have a Hyperion's ring. And these boots are good. Right. I am down to 95% resolve though. Running into the enemy is not good. So cool. Don't get hit, open me, destroy all targets. No, there's not really a time limit on this. I'm basically waiting for all the little ball guys to... Oh, I'm dead. And I just killed this. I need to go over and down. Seeing what's in each room before making a decision. So horseshit that he's got that kind of defense. I do 4 hits to him before he loses his shield. Been a very fruitful run for me too. I've been going on along for a while. Jeez. Still looking for the boss room here. This is ridiculous. just a principle thing. I'm likely not gonna make it out of this room. All those people I killed. Ooh. Gales with intelligence, that's interesting. By a cook. I don't know what that class does. You hungry, ducky? I made some all for you. It's best hot when you should eat it now. One of my favorite desserts, so if you don't like it, I'll take it back. Man, she likes to make food. Give Sharon 6,400 more gold. Alright. Alright, this will be the last run of the night. Bounce, bounce. Oh, the bouncing wooden spoon. It seems to target a little bit. Rebel plan is cunning. First they will strike at the gates, but what is the diversion to draw the guards? Your battle will happen in the ceremony of return. They have dug a secret tunnel from the west. It's towards the ceremonial grounds. I always knew the ceremony was a dangerous event, but I took my precautions to keep its date secret. The only one who knows when it occurs is me, my fellow extraterrestrians. For the rabble to discover when the ceremony happens is possible unless there's a traitor amongst us. Every move I make now must be planned out meticulously. I must retreat to my abode and contemplate this. In the Tower of Light, I've hidden a secret door against the far wall between the 5th and 6th lanterns. Shall retreat to it for now. Nice. What a bizarre weapon this spoon is. Gain special properties when it bounces off a wall. Nice. Wow. Nice. Get the initial bounce off the corner there. Nice. Oh, so close. Nice. Collar cape. Uh-oh. That guy's a big guy. And he is clearly creating a shield around everybody until I get rid of him. So that'll be it for me today. What a jerk. damn it. A new contract signed. A new successor chosen. Alright, that's it for this episode. When we come back, we're going to try to take on the boss. If I can find him, and then we'll go from there.